Problem number 7. First of all, what we want to know from the diagram, or what we do know from the diagram, we know that angle C is congruent to angle E. They both have one tick mark. And then notice, angle B here, it's got a tick mark with a tick mark in it. So here's the arc, and then there's another mark. So that's going to be congruent to angle D, which has the arc with another line through it. And then we also know that side AB is congruent to side FD. So what we know in this is we know an angle, and then we know two angles and a side that's not included, and that means that those are congruent. The congruence, the reason is because of angle, side. And I didn't say that very well, so I'm going to try this again. Angle, side says that we have two angles in one triangle, congruent to two angles in another triangle, and then a side that's not included. So in order for a side to be included, we'd have to know BC here and DE, but we don't. So our congruence statement, again, I'll try to go back here. Again, I usually go alphabetical order on my first triangle. So I did A, B, C is congruent to triangle. Well, A doesn't have a tick mark and F doesn't have a tick mark. B has our tick mark with the line through it, so FD, D has our tick mark with the line through it, and then C is going to match up to angle E. If we look at triangles in number 8, what we know is that all angles are 60 degrees. That's all we know. And when we only know something about angles, we cannot, with that information, show that triangles are congruent. And when we fill that in, again, we can say angle does not show congruence. If we look at problem number 9 here, what we see is we see that angle B is congruent to angle D, and I will just note that those are right angles. That may or may not be important. We also know that AB, side AB, is congruent to side ED because they have the one tick mark. And then our other piece of information that we know is that AC is congruent to EF. And what we've got here is across from angle B is the hypotenuse. Across from angle D is the hypotenuse. So we've got a right angle, and then we also have a leg. So yes, the triangles are congruent because we know the hypotenuse of the triangle and a leg. Those two pieces are congruent. So we can say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle, let's see, D. Nope. A doesn't have a tick mark here. So we want to say E, but then we can say D and F.